Hello and welcome to Busy Healing episode 20. It's amazing, 20 episodes already. My name is Thomas and today we'll be looking at feather exercises. As most of you know by now, every time a feather falls in front of you or you find one, it usually means that there's a message from the universe or that there's someone around you, and most people actually leave it at that. They go like, oh, there's a feather, and they go like, oh, thank you so much. But you can go much further with feathers. So first of all, I call it collect, connect. So what you do is you don't wildly collect feathers, but you pay attention to them, because that's what the universe wants. It's a part of communication from the universe. So every time you are drawn to a feather that you see somewhere, collect it and give it a space. Okay? So this is just a collection of feathers that came to us or from birds that lived with us, right? And then what you can do is, it is interesting when you work with feathers in exercises, it is not important where the feather comes from. What that means is, there are different exercises that you can do with specific feathers of specific birds. In this exercise, it's really not important. It's about connecting through the feather. So I show you what you can do. The first thing I would suggest is, because they come from the street, so there's a lot of pollution around it, every time you put a new feather in, treat them like beings. You put a new feather in, the dynamic changes. So what you do is, you first charge them. Okay, so you could charge them with a drum, or you could just charge them with a high-pitched sound. So that the energy is higher, which makes it easier for you to actually hear them. Speaking of high-pitched noises, I hear the dog in the background. So let's just stop this video and feed the boy, and we'll be back in a minute. So let's continue this. One way of also hiring the energy is actually by putting crystals around it, but you have to be very mindful with crystals, and we will do a crystal video, as it were, in at some stage in the future, I'm pretty sure. So if you could come a little bit closer, I'll show you what exercises or type of exercises you can do. Okay. So I just pick one or whatever I'm drawn to right now. This appears to be probably a magpie, or maybe yeah, it is a magpie. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but I see a little lovely green. Okay, doesn't really, it's not important. Like I said earlier, it's not really important. It's just my curiosity. So what you can do is you take the feather. Number one, first thing you do is you put it in your hand to connect. Okay. Technically speaking, you could just close your eyes and ask to be taken. And what it means is you asked the feather, the spirit of the feather, the spirit of that animal guide, so to speak, to just take you on a journey. And that usually works, but I wouldn't do it standing up, I would do it sitting down somewhere. So that's quite easy actually what you can do. But there's a couple of tricks. What you can do, remember, they come from birds obviously, but they come really from the universe. So these are conduits between yourself and the guides. So what you do is, you stroke the spine. You can see this here? Stroke the spine. And once you start actually doing that, you're basically asking for a journey. And then you close your eyes. You do this a couple of times, then you close your eyes, and then just hold the feather steady, and then journey. You will also notice once the journey takes place and you're in contact with some guides, the feather has done its job. So let's just say you do this sitting down, you can, even if you, are overwhelmed by the journey, you could just drop the feather. The feather will not hold this against you, if that makes sense. You do not have to continuously hold the feather to make that connection, because it's a conduit. The idea is to connect through it. And then if you are asking for advice, when you say, can you give me messages? Don't ask them, what am I supposed to do? Because you have free will. They can't answer these questions for you. They can only give you advice based on your energy. So I wouldn't ask them yes or no question. you know, is this the right girlfriend? Is this the right boyfriend? You know, will I get that job? Unless it has been decided, they really wouldn't be able to tell you, nor will they really tell you, because you're supposed to live your own life, right? But you could ask, okay, where am I going here? You know, or you could say my energy is a little bit low, and I ask you for some guidance. And then what you do is you hold the feather and you just do this very gently. And you can do it on both sides. Just gently sort of do this. What it really means is that you are, in a way, in a roundabout way, you're actually cleaning your own feathers, if that makes sense. And because you're creating space and you're creating a new beginning by cleaning and cleansing yourself, you get answers quicker. So again, it's one of those concepts where you close your eyes, just do this, and after a while you can actually just let go and you get messages. And that's a very easy way of working. The other way is to just look for the one that you are drawn to the most at this point in time. This one, for instance, has been gifted to me, right, by a dear friend of mine. And comes with a little thingy here. And then the idea is that you take this and actually put it next to a piece of paper and draw it. Because it is white, it's probably not the best idea. I would probably take a darker feather for this, or maybe even, you know, we have a feather here from a yellow-crested Amazon parrot, so I'll probably use this one. The idea is to you put this next to the sheet, you draw it, and then you pencil it in. The colors do not have to match, but you pencil it in. And you do this more or less automatically. While you actually start drawing, you are asking whatever being it is that sent you this feather to communicate with you. So, and there's a tons more things that you can do with feathers. But these are very easy ways to actually, number one, honor the feather. A lot of people say like, oh, there must be birds migrating, so they fly over your garden and the feather falls down. That's not wrong. Yes, they are migrating and the feather falls down over your garden. But that doesn't mean that the feather that actually falls to the ground and that you spot doesn't have a meaning. You know, it is what it is. The more people pay attention, the more you have the awakening, the more you can see that there's messages in here. It's also an interesting thing that I wanted to say to you before you go. Maybe it has got nothing to do with exercise that you can do, but when you look at evolution and when you look at bird studies, to be quite fair, scientists and zoologists would probably agree, we don't know all that much about birds simply because their bones became hollow. Most of the birds are believed to be or have been ground animals, and then they needed to fly. It's quite interesting in the case of parrots, for instance, or most birds. Some of them, you know, over time became smaller and lighter. So the bones became hollow and the brain shrunk, and they didn't lose any of their intelligence. So when people say like, you know, we need this big brain, that might be true too. But when you look at birds, obviously they haven't gotten any stupider, any more stupid at all, right? So what happens a lot is the reason why we don't know much about them is because they have hollow bones, and therefore there are virtually no skeletons. So the finds of the links in between birds, if that makes sense, are scarce. So by you journeying there, you are allowing yourself to be a bridge in time. You know, even though it doesn't always happen, but you're really assessing them from the heart, and you understand that every being that ever dwelled here is part of the universe. And it's quite interesting when you work with feathers, rather than you know, other totems or something, because they come from a living being, where some of them are not really explored. It's incredible how deep the journey can go, because there's a little bit of mystique around it, which is actually not a bad thing, you know, especially for people who are not so sure about it, you know, or a bit scared, you know. Just go with the flow, right? There's no harm coming to you. So that's really awesome. And then when you're all done, you because I handled them now. Remember, there are beings, there are spirits around them. You could use your pendulum and you know, draw a fresh vortex of energy, or you're just using one of the same things that we just did earlier. So I'm going to basically seal it now again. And that's also an easy way to be grateful and to say thank you, because, you know, every time you connect, you really should be grateful for this. Anyway, that's all we have time for. My name is Thomas, and we see you at episode 21. Bye.